obviously, I mentioned in the opening that your mission is to teach lawyers how to do estate planning from anywhere in the world, and also just working 2 hours a day. So can you explain to our audience how you went about achieving this mission, and then how you sort of teach them to do it?
Yeah, so I didn't start out working 2 hours a day. I should be really clear about that. It's building the practice is really hard. They talk about this in this book called Good to Great. I don't know if you've heard of it or read it, and I haven't read it in a long time. But they have this analogy where, like, when you first start out with your business, it's like you're pushing this giant round stone that's like super heavy, and you're pushing it and you're pushing it, and you work really, really hard, and it moves a little bit, and then you push some more and it moves a bit more. And then what ends up happening is eventually after time, it just starts to roll on its own. So it is really hard in the beginning. But eventually you do get to the point, and this is the point that I'm at now, where I'm only spending a couple of hours a day on my estate planning business. And the rest of the day is spent, I've got other business endeavors. I've got my coaching practice, for example. So it doesn't start out at 2 hours a day, but basically one of the things I do in my very first modules is I show attorneys, 2 hours a day, that's 10 hours a week, that's 40 hours a month. What you should be doing with that 40 hours, the bulk of your time should be spent holding events, whether that's in person or webinars, right? That's the best way to get business as an estate planning attorney. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to get business from other places. Yes, referrals are great, from clients, from financial advisors. That's all great. You're going to get people who just find you online. You're just going to get people who fall into your lap. But the best way to be able to turn the faucet on and off in terms of I need more business, I need less business, is to hold events. And I used to do all of this in person pre-2020, and then the world changed, and now we've all been doing webinars, which works just as well. And so that's what you should be focusing your time on, getting out there, educating your community, getting in front of people. Because what happens with estate planning is that people aren't ready to buy right away. It's not like personal injury or DUI or something like that, where people are kind of in a panic. They need to be educated. They need to be nurtured. So you start by holding events. People see you, they get to know you, they like you, then you drive them to book a consultation. And so then the next step is, well, now you have to close those people, right? So there's no point in spending time and money getting leads and getting in front of people if you can't close them when you actually meet with them. So that's where the bulk of your time should be spent. Now, once you've gotten the close, then a lot of the work behind the scenes can be either delegated to a qualified paralegal, or it can be automated, or you can have systems in place. This is a great area for putting systems in place, because you do tend to run everyone through the same process. So that's how you get down to a couple of hours a day. And that's what I'm doing now. And I'm teaching other lawyers how to do this, making $10,000 a month, which in the beginning, it seems like that's really hard, but you find out pretty quickly that once you get the systems dialed in, it's not that hard. And the main point of all of this is that I just noticed this trend post-COVID that attorneys, we don't all want $1 million law firm, right? We don't all want an eight-figure law firm. And so many of the gurus out there teaching you have $1 million law firm. And it's like, well, I don't really want that. I'd be happy just making $10,000, $20,000 a month, being able to work from anywhere and not working as much. There's so many lawyers that fall into that bucket, and no one is marketing to those people except me.